So, Diddy's case update. So, I just saw that he had fired his lawyer. This was a day ago. These people were saying, or a few days ago, that he fired his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo. But I don't think that, I mean, people were saying that he fired Mark, but I don't think it sounds like he fired Mark. In fact, hold on a second. It seems like what he has in fact done, you guys, is he has added a couple of new lawyers to his legal team. So, for one thing, he has hired a lawyer named Alexandra Shapiro. She's going to appeal the bail decision. You know how the New York judge who's presiding over the whole case denied bail, and he wants to keep Diddy locked up while he waits trial for racketeering and other charges. And so this was after a magistrate had denied bail. So you have a magistrate denying bail. He appealed to the judge who was presiding over the case. That judge denied bail. And so now he has hired a new lawyer and specifically for the appeal, an appellate lawyer named Alexandra Shapiro. So she's going to handle the appeal. There's no indication that he has fired Mark Agnifilo or whatever his last name is. I'm sorry if I'm messing that up. As indicated by many YouTube channels, including some of my go-to channels like Tisa Tells. I think I saw on Tisa um, that Mark had been fired. He probably has been because Tisa has a lot of inside info, but I don't see any evidence to that effect other than, YouTubers, because the main press is saying that he has added to his legal team. So Mark has had this woman, Alexandra Shapiro, and another lawyer named Anthony Ricco to join. The key verb is to join the legal team. So I don't know where people are getting that Diddy fired Mark because Mark was so horrible and yada, yada, yada. Maybe it's true, but I have not seen any evidence of that as of today. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, for example, Bloomberg Law, which I think should be a pretty reliable source, it says here Diddy adds Sam Bankman Fried, is it Fried or Fried? Fried litigator to growing defense team. So it's a growing team. So he's adding to his team. So you have Alexandra Shapiro, Tony Ricco added to Sean Combs' counsel list. And Cher Tremont and Jonathan Davis are overseeing civil litigation, because that's a whole other thing, isn't it? I haven't even been talking about that. So it says here Sean Diddy Combs is getting some additional legal firepower to fight the federal charges against him. And it says here Alexandra Shapiro and Anthony Ricco have joined. This is a key verb. If they join, it means that his original counsels remain in place at least for the moment. Have joined Combs' criminal defense team. That team is led by Mark Agnifilo. It's Agnifilo and Tenny Geragos, who are the founding partners of Agnifilo Intrata. Okay, whatever that means. It says here Garagos' father is Mark Garagos. Is it Garagos or Geragos? A celebrity litigator from Los Angeles who has previously advised Combs on other matters. So Shapiro is a former clerk of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was also once a partner at Latham and Watkins. Earlier this year was retained as appellate counsel to disgraced cryptocurrency mogul Sam Bankman-Fried, who is serving a 25-year prison sentence for fraud. Okay, so yeah, there you have it, you guys. I mean, we have to be more we have to be more careful because when I heard he had fired Mark, I mean the video I was going to make was completely different, but it's a good thing I checked around a little bit more because I was watching like one of my favorite YouTubers, and she said that he was fired, and I'm like, oh my God, and because I mean a couple of different YouTubers I follow basically said that Mark is a terrible lawyer. Look, maybe he is. I mean, I don't really know how to decide that. I think that it would have been great if he got his client out of jail while awaiting the trial, and certainly if he gets his client acquitted, right? If he gets his client acquitted, like the new Johnny Cochran kind of thing. Um, but and so he didn't get his client out even after offering up $50 million for a bond, right? So how does that even look? I mean, it looks a little whatever. And then, of course, he's been criticized for telling the judge that if the judge can't trust that Diddy will not tamper with witnesses or that try to flee, trust the money. So he's being criticized for saying that. He's also being criticized for how he handled the whole thing about the 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Apparently, he said to someone in an interview that, look, I mean, Sean got this from Costco, like like bulk buying or whatever. So people thought that was not a good, my sense of this guy, Agnifilo, is that he definitely likes to court the press. And that could, you know, I mean, look, I understand the strategy in a certain way. I think what he wants to do is to try to familiarize the public with the defendant and with the case, but try to be lighthearted about it so that people like him as a lawyer. Because if people like him as the lawyer, they may trickle down to the client. They may be more sympathetic to the client, right? They start rooting for him because they like him. And he also wants to just get closer to the types of people who potentially would be potential jurors in the case. He wants to be approachable. He wants Diddy to seem just like a regular guy who, bought some baby oil in bulk and whatever, you know. So he's just talking to the press, and he's talking quite a lot to certain types of press. Like it seems that he's gone to, say, TMZ quite a bit, and people are just like, why would you do that? You're a defense lawyer. You're sort of, you know, fraternizing with, all the low life, lowbrow people. Not that TMZ is low life, but you know what I'm saying. It's not exactly Bloomberg, or it's not exactly the New York Times or whatever. It's TMZ, right? It's a gossip site. And so people are just like kind of, people like Tisa, for example, are losing respect for him for that reason, which on a certain level you can understand where she's coming from. But on a different level, if you're looking at this through the eyes of, a defense lawyer who has a client he has to defend, I mean, this client is, TMZ is a type of publication that people interested in this case will be more likely to follow, right? The man is a celebrity. He's a rapper. People go to TMZ to learn about celebrities and rappers, right? And again, I think Mark is trying to curry sympathy for his client among the types of people who are potentially going to be jurors in this case, right? He doesn't want to come off, Mark, that is, as too sort of uptight, and because once people don't like the lawyer on the case, that could have an impact on the outcome of the case, right? Whether by the judge or the jury, right? Because the way the judge is going to rule, overruling and sustaining objections and things like that could really make or break a case. So he wants to be likable, and he wants to be likable among the population that is going to matter, because it's those types of people they're probably going to be getting at least some of their jurors from, right? Now, why are people saying that Mark has been fired? Maybe he has been fired, but I am not seeing, as of my latest research, any proof of that, right? Any proof of that. It says that, clearly said that in Bloomberg, and when was this written? This has no date. This has no, oh yes, October 1st. October 1st. Do you see that? Do you see that up here? October 1st, okay, at 8:57 p.m., right? So that was just yesterday, right? Um, that the team is led by Mark Agnifilo or Philo, right? And I believe Mark's wife is also a lawyer. And I think what I was hearing was that she was also heave hoed to the curb. But I don't think that's true. I don't think that is correct. I don't know why people are saying that. And it's not just Tisa, it's other people who are saying that he was fired. But I don't see any evidence of that. I think what Diddy is doing is sort of what OJ did, is he's getting multiple lawyers, multiple law firms. He's hiring not a lawyer, but a legal team, multiple lawyers, because, he's facing some serious charges here, and the consequences for him are pretty dire. And so he's adding to his legal team, not firing his lawyer, at least not yet. He still could end up firing one or more of his lawyers. We don't really know, as he starts running out of money, and, if there's, maybe the lawyers don't get along, they have a different idea for, a different theory of the case, if you will, how to defend the case. They could have infighting among the lawyers. There could be some betrayal, some people speaking, misspeaking in the press. All kinds of things could happen in the future, right? That could cause him to fire his lawyer. But as of last night, it is not true. It is not true that Diddy fired his lawyers. Do correct me if I'm wrong, if you know for sure that that's true. So I don't know where people are getting this, including some of my favorite YouTubers that I go to for, updates on things like this. Anyway, see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.